So, I ordered a package a long-ass time ago. And the dude who shipped it sent it UPS. I should have probably had it last week sometime, at the latest Friday. But I don't have it yet, could you have guessed? I'm really kind of shitty about this whole thing. And I hope you are too. If you decide to ever ship me a package via UPS, count on it that I'll never be shopping from you. Actually, that reminds me of a rhythm. This particular part in particular. Listen to me and all my anger. So something like. Amen belongs to them. Really, that's doubled. This part is actually doubled too, so you got one rhythm guitar. So the other part is... it's pretty simple, really. Another way to kind of play it together if you're the only guitar players. All the way up. Delete that note, or make it the minor third. For that if you wanted to, but that's pretty good there. And sorry, like that. But for me, it sounds good enough. The bass is hanging on the C. Then, like I was saying, and that's pretty much the same for both guitar parts. He doesn't do this again, or it's not there. So. By the way, there's a nice part that goes under this. So you have up, down there. The two meld together really nicely. Excuse me. See if I can actually do that. That would be here. And they go. So isn't that kind of a lovely thing together? And they just, of course, play that separately. The other one is... come on, mother, let me show you the house. Come on, mother, there's a lot to discuss. That's when we get to the... Hey! I had a video to make for you! Hello! So, Hello. Shoot, man. I totally forgot about that. Bring your daughter to the slaughter. No, not bring your daughter to the slaughter. Ah, God. Refresh an old man's memory. How's life in Poland? How you been? Bach. Actually. Oh, Wicker Man. Yes, thank you. Look, let me do myself and you a favor and actually write that down. And yes, that would be very smart of me. Sorry about that. Give me a second. I did wind up going over it. Camera's there. Hi. I did wind up going over it, and I wound up going over it a few times. There's a funny thing. I was wrong about the super quick pickup. I wasn't that wrong, but I was a little wrong. I remember being a little wrong and going like, oh, it's actually played like that. And that was that. And I did that like the day after the stream where we had talked about this, and then it just kind of went like, oh, I've got work to do, and oh, I've got this, and I just forgot. I'm sorry. Blame it on the OLD that I suffer from. Let's see. Wicker Man. And video, please. So, I'll let you know of my troubles. I don't know what shipping's like over there, but here, most of the time, our post office does a pretty decent job of getting stuff to us. And I ordered something about a week ago, and it's not here yet. And they were like, oh, it's still coming. It's a little late, but it's coming tonight, maybe. And it should have been here last week at the latest. And what can I say? UPS, not a happy person with them right now. In fact, not a fan at all. So it is what it is. And then I started working on things like King Diamond and whatnot. Let me see there. What are... So unfortunately, where I'm at, let me bring up myself live. This is going to sound conceited, but it's the only way I can really read my chats very well because I've got this stupid little high. I wish I could show you. I kind of can, I think. Here, let's actually drop this, go into a scene, and I'll show you. Am I using an interface? Yeah, using a microphone to connect it. Okay, so I think I got you there. Yeah. So the interface that I'm using is a Volt 276. Doesn't matter what the interface is, but the interface is connected to two mics. And one of them's this one, and the other one is the SM57 on that speaker cabinet down there. So, yeah, what you're hearing is real amp. So... And, using this setup, I can do a whole lot of different things as well. Let's say I didn't want this. I want to clean, hit the clean and do clean things, which is kind of low. Turn that up a little. There we are. Isn't that lovely? Lovely sound. Different lead sound if I wanted to. More of the classic rock thing. I mean, it's still effective, but it's a versatile setup. Vince Janella stream right now. His sound is perfect. Well, what's he hooking up to? Who's Vince Janella? I've never heard of the guy, but I'll be happy to look him up. Because I want perfect sound. Let's see. What you got going on there, brother man? VinceGanella.com. Probably under videos. Probably Facebook. Facebook? No Facebook. No. I'll tell you what. I'll just get on his channel and see what he's got going on. In fact, I should bug him. I'll say, I'm live streaming right now. And, oh yeah, this is what I should do. I should do this. Share the screen. There it is. Ha ha ha! And let's see here. Live. How is your sound? Perfect.
Hello, Jessica.
Other inquiring people may want to know.
Stephanie.
I wonder if I can do this. Is this legit?
We'll probably see you tomorrow at our rock school. Yeah.
Well, as you can see here, I'm not much seeing in the chats here.
Hello,
Any way I can pop in and ask him.
Hi. Hello to you.
But I do see that he's got a Sandoval V behind him, and I'm very jealous.
Everyone. So cool. Let's see. Jeff, just a little inside.
I will go back
for
later.
you.
So, yeah, I'll just leave him like so. And in the meantime, I'll show you what I'm showing. Yeah, so this. So let me put this over here so I get this kind of weird loopy thing, possibly, maybe. So as you can see right here, depending on how the chat looks, sometimes this little heart guy gets in the way and it's kind of crap. So what I like to do is have another, again, it's kind of silly, but check this out. Have another like window open. I think I have enough tabs open. And hit content, go to live, hit the live thing, and shut me the hell up really fast, because if I don't, there's a problem. You know, for one, I hear me, and for two, everybody else hears this wonderful echo. But essentially, if I have this open and I'm not seeing any chats, oh, something's wrong. Let's start turning off stuff, and I'll get back to you. Scene, very well. Everybody's back to me now after this. Well, that's weird. Chats usually show up almost instantaneously. So, life goes on. There we are. Oh, you mean back to when he was playing. I see what you mean. Sorry about that. I got all caught up. Let's see here. Okay, he's playing. Go. Oh, he's using an Axe FX 3. There's a huge difference there. Now, given that I can't exactly control the dynamics of the microphone that I have, he's also got a Padauk N4. Hold on a second. That guitar really inspired me. So I built my own version of it. And have since disassembled it completely, but, you know, I used my own model, of course, but Padauk is not cheap. I just want to let you know that if I did this again, not only would it be 100 times better than it was when I first built this, it's just like the 7th one or something like that. A lot of dust. But this body weighs as much as this guitar weighs. It is heavy as hell. Nice guitar, though, I gotta say. Alright, let's see if I can do that. So I will turn down this. Okay, turn up the treble. Go. To mimic what I'm hearing, if I can, something like... Oh, now the chat's showing up. 9 years later. Yeah, I never learned the Santana stuff. Do need a little more of that delay in there, though. There we are. Just a hair. Alright, so we're A minoring it all the way here. I see, he's Dorianing it now. Cool. I'm learning licks. What do you know? And you too can follow along. It's the same type of thing. What did he play? He played this. Okay. So, seems like a nice fella with a lot of expensive gear. The Charvel, yes, kind of expensive. The two gems on the right hand side. Not only that, but the series of Les Paul customs. Let's say I count 4 of them there, and I think there's a Les Paul special. Yeah. Oh my God, the thing on the wall. Wow. I've seen that before. I can't quite place it, but gee, many Christmas. Yeah. I think that in $1980, what you have behind him could have bought you a block of houses. So just to, put it on. And on the safe side of things, I think that what he has behind him, I'm not exactly sure what all I'm looking at, but I'm assuming some Pokemon. It looks like Crash Bandicoot somewhere down there. Oh, Marvin the Martian, I see that. Could probably, yeah. That's pretty neat. So, you know where he lives? Well, go tell him I said hey. I don't know who he is, and he has no idea who I am, and it might weird him out, so maybe you shouldn't. But it would be fun. Hey, Kirk says hi. And he really is going to do that Wicker Man thing. He promises. So how are the rhythms coming for that? And I should ask you, all right, so you know where he lives. Do you know where I live? I knew it. By the way, this pedal over here that I clicked on, it's called the Cash Cow. I've been using this for a little bit now, and I got to tell you, I really dig it. You want the pink Ibanez? I am not seeing a pink Ibanez, but apparently he has one. Okay. I'm a fan of Ibanez. I got another one on order. It's not going to be here. It's on back order. It's on back order until November, and I probably could get it from another place, but I really like Music 6000, and I would like them to have my money. So that's Music 6000 is a local place over in Olympia, Washington. So, there's a hint. Anyway, but no, I've got, my Ibanez numbers, the numbering system, the naming system for them are absolutely crazy. So if you get one that just says Gem, count yourself as lucky. I've got something else on order from them, but like I said, I won't get here till November. I was really kind of hoping to just walk in the other day and grab one. Not too dissimilar from this. Single locking. It was blue. It was a Prussian blue. And yes, color does not give away the name of an Ibanez, but something that will is me visiting a website real quick and finding out what the name of that Ibanez is. Now, mentioning the UPS thing, if perchance my dog starts to go burf burf, or if I start to hear a motor outside, I'm going to run and see if it's them. We'll have an unboxing video, and it'll be really cool. If it is in fact them. If it isn't, well then, it's 1900. It's 2 literal hours later than their window. Bunch of crap, if you ask me. But I am hearing it. Motor. All right, well, let's see here. There's one. There it is. All right. Oh, come on now. Behave yourself. There. It's the AZ42P1. So I don't know if you want to call it the Arizona 42.1. I don't know. But that's what it is. So they ordered the black one and the blue one. And whatever one plays better, I'm going to take that one home. By the way, I'm going to give you a nice shot of this guitar for a second, because I am going to go ahead and get up and see if there's anybody out front. Give me a minute. I'll be right back. Hello, Alan. Oh, you say hello to my cat, Alan, here. This is Alan. He's a big boy. He does not like being held very much. He did when he was a boy, but he's not a boy anymore, really. Anything yet? Oh, for God's sake. So, they don't knock. But they leave packages. Isn't that lovely? All right, let's see what's in it. I mean, I know what's in it. I intended to use it tonight. But no. Les Paul Supreme Florentine 2015. Oh, dude, no, that's an amazing looking guitar. But I've got a stigma about expensive instruments. As expensive as they are and as pretty as they are, and most of the time expensive instruments that come like in a price range of like $6,000 and above have a tendency to hold on to their value as a commodity. So they're more of a commodity instrument than just a tool, you know? I've got a stigma about instruments that cost more than $1,500 because I think you get diminishing returns. Especially if it's an instrument that you intend to keep and use and play. Like here's one that you haven't seen, I don't think yet, or at least in chat last week. This guy. And this thing is just an M400, matte black. I had to refinish it. It was in interesting shape. I also moved the volume knob down, gave it a little tiny bit of fretwork, and replaced EMGs, which I can't stand EMGs, with a pair of pickups, which I still have yet to review, but I bought here in the States from a guy named Sam. I'll have to look that up, but it's Guitar Part Zone on eBay. And I'll be damned, they sound so good it ain't funny. They're just amazing pickups. Alnico 8, Alnico 5, and it's great. New this guitar cost a little over $1,000. I got it for $400, and I was really happy about that. It's a great deal. I still had to put work into it, but you know, still. But I don't think the guitars over $1,500 are worth it, and here's why. If you buy a guitar that's pretty good for like $8,000, and you take it to somebody who knows what they're doing around an instrument, you know, fret jobs and stuff like that, and you'll get back an instrument that's worth every penny of a guitar that's $1,500 or more. Ask me how I know. I bought one. I wasn't happy about it. Have you seen my Schecter lately? It's for consignment right now. So if anybody wants to buy that one, they can have a great time at that. In the meantime, the Florentine is a delightful instrument, though. No joke. Those Les Pauls are beautiful. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It's beyond me. So, I ordered this over a week ago. It shipped from Texas. I should have had it by now. But UPS sucks. And they don't even knock when they deliver. You can hear their car, and that's about it. Like I said, I think I hear a car outside. So what's this? This is a brand used, because it's practically new. Essentially a floor model of the NuX Trident. And why did I get this instead of any other competing? Because I've been getting some questions from some people, one in particular, about what it is, why I would buy that or choose that instead of an Ampero. Yes, unboxing content, good. And I'm not unboxing too terribly much. Like I said, it's brand used, so, you know, their floor model. But essentially, it's mint in box. So let's just see how mint it is. Looks like the outer shell of a box. Okay. Should I open it? Should I? Let's see. Here we go. And we have another box inside of the box. That's kind of keen. By the way, it does have the new box smell, so I'm happy about that. But I got a great deal on this, and I'm very happy about it. I don't say great as in like super fantastic. It was like $100 off new, and that makes me happy. Because people were asking, why don't I want something like the Ampero 2 Stage or something? Well, it's $600. Yeah, but you can get it used for like $5.5, and you're still paying tax on it, and essentially it's going to be $600. I didn't pay that for this. I'm really happy about that. I just don't, this is going to be used at band practices only. So that's it. This tiny little guy that better have a power supply or something is definitely... there it is. Inside this little box or this little piece of thing is another little box with the PSU. I can tell because of the feel, which is good. So let's see here. Anything else that I'm missing besides my marbles? Well, we have these cute little attachments here, and of course your guide plus a sticker. All right, cool beans. So let's have a look-see at the Nux, or the Nu-X. I'm going to call it a Nux. Something dropped. So, that's not fun. What dropped? A little bit of dust. Otherwise, yeah, pretty much new. So this little thing is a complete replacement for every single thing you see down there, for band practice purposes only. We have a large PA. All I have to do is take this down, pop it on the floor, get this expression pedal. By contrast, FedEx from Indiana, UPS ground. I bought this a day later. It arrived Wednesday. I bought this, of course, the day before. It didn't arrive until today. UPS, get your shit together, UPS. Anyway, so plug this in. I've got my wah. I've got everything I want. Practically. And it sounds pretty good. But the really real reason, besides inexpensiveness that I got it, is because of the latency. For any unit at that price point or $1,000 more, it has less or lower latency, insofar as like when you hit a note, you know, how long does it take to process before you actually hear it out of the speakers? And so with an amp like this, it's instantaneous. It's one of the reasons why I'm much more of a tube amp person. It is a guitar processor, by the way. Good job. But the thing about latency is I'm real sensitive to latency. If it's not just coming right out, like the closest I can get to something that is usable for me and that I'm happy about is when I'm going direct into my interface and then using something like the Pliny X from Neural DSP. It's pretty good. And I've got a pretty low latency on that. So I got a pretty fast rig, so the latency is kind of low, and the sound is still good. On the other hand, if I get something out like this, this is an 11 rack. I used to use this thing religiously. I got it a long time ago, and I used it for years, thought it was pretty okay. And it's not bad. It is pretty okay. But there is some latency. That's got a latency of 1.4 milliseconds. That's better than a quad Cortex. The Ampero's got 1.9. Of course, the 3.4 is locked in. So, never using Headrush Prime. Hey, you know what? I got a friend who's selling his if you want one. That's telling, though, isn't it? You know somebody who's getting rid of theirs? Why are they getting rid of it if it's so good? That's what I always think, you know. Oh, yeah, well, but one man's trash or woman's trash in your case is another person's treasure. I'll just say persons. You know what I mean. So, and it's true. And in the large part, in general, you know, I bought that cash cow for less than $50. I really like it as a distortion pedal. It's got a little bit of rat to it, just a little bit of fuzz. And it's got a whole lot of just kind of like raw rock and roll. And it's really good for doing like 60s covers. For instance, if I were to whip out the Stairway to Heaven thing, you know, everybody knows it. You know, it's pretty authentic. Me without a guitar pick isn't, but still. Yeah, that's it. That suits the bill. It does a pretty good job. But when I don't want that and I want to, you know, sing a bit, scream and rage a bit, kill that, re-engage the red channel, the breathing fire channel. And it's Exodus all over the place. It's fantastic. Before I continue, these are Tone Rider pickups. They are their AC4s. And I gotta tell you, didn't listen to them. Yes, well, like I said, one man's trash, another treasure, woman's too. The AC4, Alnico Classic 4, but they just use Alnico 4 magnets. It's a lighter wind. These things are Megadeth right out of the box. And I say that every single chance I get because they just aren't as well known as they need to be. And these things, even though they're lower output, they're razor sharp, you know, and you can do the whole, you know, it's just it's the sound. Well, not with all that delay hanging out, but it's just sharp as a tack, and it's really, really great. So I highly recommend these if you do any kind of thrash stuff. It works for other things too, but it's very good for thrash. You can hear it in there. It's almost like let's see. What do I know? Not a whole lot right now. Actually, yeah. And you can just kind of go on. What is that? Or whatever it is. It's one of the happiest riffs I've ever heard in my life, and it is very thrash, and it is oriented around what? Randall Flagg, you know, Among the Living, The Stand from Stephen King. Hilarious, in my opinion. Oh my God, Kurt. Sorry, I got in a caught in a mosh, I guess. Anthraxian zone. Good pickups though. Oh, and cheap. So I'm pretty frugal. I can't imagine ever paying like the premium bare knuckle pickups price. Not because I'm some sort of like snobby elitist that's just too good for bare knuckle. No, but because bare knuckle is way too snobby elitist good for me with a $300 price tag for a pair of pickups. I'm just not going to do that. Or for a 7-string pair of pickups, like $500. No. $104. You know? for the set. I'm good. Down there, $48. Oh my God, let me play through that. You will agree it's good. Not too terribly dissimilar, but with a little more roundness and power. I know what you're saying. Roundness and power. What do you mean roundness and power? I mean roundness and power. You'll see. So, untangle the cabley mess. You know what might be advisable as the next purchase I make? Something like a wireless system. All right, here we go. Did I plug it into the right cable? Oh yeah, I put it on mute. Silly me. Little more roundness, whole lot of power. Back to the Bach. It's good stuff, I tell you. Excellent pickups. Again, still need to do like a whole, kind of video about that, but that comes at another time, I'm afraid. Actually, that's a Pete Black thing. Fun. Don't know if you're into that King Diamond stuff at all, but if you are, something like that, or is it? That's it. Excellent stuff. Really, really, really cool. I've just kind of picked that over the last couple of days. You know, here or there, a little. It's kind of a pity. The original one of those, it's Amen Belongs to Them off of Conspiracy. The original has some of the Pete Black stuff. And it was just kind of like buried in the mix. That's it. That's it. Then you get Andy coming in. He does it. Something like that. Yep. Sorry. I tend to, I really like that kind of music. So, yeah, it's the thing. Maybe an old thrash guy, but there's a lot of, like, proto-power metal that really, really runs in my veins. And I dig the living crap out of it. Like, you know, Maiden, of course, we've discussed that. Mostly earlier Maiden, but nevertheless. King Diamond. I was got into King when I was 15. And Them had just come out. Yeah, I'm old. But, so I got into King Diamond when I was 15, right after the release of, well, it was a little bit later than the release of Them. That was like 88. But it was just around the release of Conspiracy. But I saw the Welcome Home video based on a friend's recommendation. You're a melodic death metal fan. There's nothing wrong with that. So, okay, so melodic death metal. So let's talk about more King Diamond in association with, at the very least, Death and Individual Thought Patterns, because Andy played on that album for about 3 solos, maybe 4. And it was pretty okay. You know, one of my favorite Death albums of all time as far as melodic death metal is concerned. If we're talking about like early '90s stuff like Desultory, are we talking about Dark Tranquillity? Are we talking about what do you want to consider that? At the Gates. So I mean, because that's the Gothenburg sound after all, right there. So and Andy had a hand in either recording or helping out a few of those folks. At the Gates, he produced Slaughter of the Soul after all, and played at least one track, you know, off the album. I think he played the solo to Cold. I'm a big fan of Andy LaRocque. So, I mean, like a really, really big fan. Hell, I don't think you'd probably want to... Viking metal, but it's definitely melodic. Ein Führer? Come on. You at least like Ein Führer. So... Oh, I know, In Flames is top. You see, I'm In Flames like as in like Moonshield In Flames. So that's way back in the day. Shoot. I'm not even sure if I remember directly how it goes, but... And they probably tuned a little bit different, but probably tuned to... No. So maybe it's there. No. I think. Something like that. Never figured it out, but you know what I mean. I think you know what I mean. But this is back in the day when they were almost folk black metal. Or not black metal, sorry, folk metal. But A sharp, gee, thanks. No. I would bet there, so... Yeah. Now that. I'm not sure if that. You know, if I just put it on and figured it out, I'd probably be 20%, 30% faster at that. I appreciate your A sharp chiming in, though. Is it A sharp because they tune flat, and the A sharp would actually be on B, because that would make sense to me as a guitar player. Most people, so here's the trick. There's some keys that are native to guitar and some that are not. And so for figuring some stuff out, if it's played in a key that is kind of unusual to you, like most... you won't not ever hear a song in C minor, but you probably won't hear a song in C minor. C minor... How many things can I think of that are not in C minor that a normal guitar player would be comfortable, playing and or listening to? Let's see. There's no E in C minor. There's no B in C minor. There is, however, a C. There's no A. There is a D. And a G. That's where it stops. So, I mean, it's a very unusual key. And you just have to think of it as, if it helps you, I don't know if it will or not, but think of B minor, 1 sharp. Now, one thing that is in C minor is Going Down from, like, Joe Satriani, all those kind of guys. What is that? From the G3 tour, they always throw in Going Down. So that's with gain. Here we go. I may disagree with you about that. And I think At the Gates' vocals had much more of an impact than a lot of people want to give credit for. Like Soilwork, for instance, is a ripoff of At the Gates. And probably some more melodic things that were going on stateside at that time, like Evanescence. With the... actually, Dimmu Borgir from Norway, black metal, they have a little bit to do with it as well because of the hiring of Simon Estenes. ICX, Vortex, whatever you want to call him. Because as soon as, I think... Enthroned Darkness Triumphant, but yeah, right. So as soon as what was the next one? I have them all. I might as well pull them up. I just haven't listened to them in a long time. If anybody was something Puritanic Euphoria, Puritanic Misanthropic, Puritanic Euphoria. 3 words, has to be 3 words. Their albums are all 3 words. Anyway, once Simon started singing for them, they started getting the grand choruses and stuff like that. And so, because of the Evanescence thing meets the the grand chorus thing, for some reason every band post 2000 had to do only that. I think Catatonia had something to do with that as well. It's just an opinion. So we all have them though, don't we? So let's see, musical. And I think the funniest part is I actually bought all this crap. So Adolescent Leftovers, no, Death and Beyond. That's where we're going. So let's open that up. And I might as well go ahead and share the screen so you can see this. If you want to squint, because, man, I can't see that from where I'm at. And if you're on a phone, I'm sorry. So we can start out with Absu, Abyssal, Abyssos, Ackercock. That's a freaking band. If you don't know them, you should get to know them. They're freaking incredible. So let's start with Resistance and Extremis. Yes, fine. It's a relatively new one. But really, Antichrist and Words That Go Unspoken, Deeds That Go that Go Undone. Oh my God, just oh my God! It's everything all at once. It's Cynic. It's freaking Morbid Angel. It's Suffocation. It's classical like pagan like acoustic hymns. It's everything, and they're fantastic. So let's see, Alchemist Amon Amarth. There's some Amon Amarth for you. Let's see, Appalachian Winter, which is an interesting one-man band project, apparently from Appalachia. In other words, the hills here in the eastern U.S. At the Gates. Shall we talk about At the Gates? Anyway, so Autumn Nostalgia, it's kind of shoegaze, black metal, weird stuff, but pretty good. Believer, USA. I'm not a huge fan, but it's interesting to note that, yes, you actually have Christian death metal, and it kind of works. It's weird, but it's there. Beyond Creation, one great album from them. Weird stuff otherwise, but that's great. Carcass's very incomplete discography. In other words, I don't have everything from them. Let's see, Children of Bodom, Cradle of Filth, Bork Nagar, Bloodbath. If you want me to continue reading the list, I'm sure this is the most interesting thing you've heard all day, right? But miscellaneous, there's a lot of great miscellaneous in here. There's like 4 things. But Limbonic Art, that's great. Oh, but we're talking about melodic death, aren't we? So they're nothing compared to In Flames. I disagree, and they were contemporaries. So, yeah. But, it's what are we comparing to? Like, if we were playing this note, and then we play this note. What note was better? Go ahead, tell me, which note was a better note? And then quantify it and tell me why. So, Martyrdom, Limbonic Art, Immortal. I don't know if you actually watch any of the stuff that I put on here besides the live streams, but I did a video about music tastes not too long ago. You should watch that. And it's not about you. Wouldn't that be fun, though? So, okay, Smart, but thank you very much. So, I'll get on with it. But you know what? If you played those two notes together, it doesn't sound good at the same time. So I would not advise playing At the Gates at the same time as In Flames. Okay? But anyway, yes. Edge of Sanity. Hey, there's another one. Good old Dan Swano on vocals for the majority of that. Classic cuts on there like Jesus Cries. That was a very, very good one. But the one that got me is the whole, pretty much Purgatory Afterglow album. And something called, I'm actually clicking on this. Oh, yes. Velvet Dreams. And also Twilight. Both of which are very interesting. They're kind of pop. So I would kind of put in something like... because this is also contemporary with like My Dying Bride and oh god, what was the other one? Pyogenesis, that's one. But yeah, so if you can kind of combine all these kind of things together, there was some pop sensibility floating around in the atmosphere at the time that people were drinking. I guess it just landed in the water and people were drinking the same water. But you know, there's one, oh boy, what was the name of that group? I might even have them in here. It'd be interesting if I did. Let's do a quick search. With correct spelling. No? Okay. All right. Perhaps it's in miscellaneous? I have a few of those. Yeah. I even have Volbeat, Winds, Mastodon. Yeah. I've got stuff. Yeah, Gojira, Death Angel. I would consider that miscellaneous because if you listen to their vocalist, that ain't thrash. And isn't even close to thrash. Age of Silence is pretty good. I'm into a lot of Norwegian black metal. I don't know if you could tell that or not, or at least I used to be. Here's one for you. Dawn's Slaughter Son. That's, oh my god. And this one. Dawnbringer. You can't see where I'm pointing, but I can do this. Dawnbringer. It's a one-man project. The guy plays guitar like Jeff Waters of Annihilator, and his songs are like a minute long each, but are incredible testimonies, statements. It's hard to find, but I have a couple of his things. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Great. Dismal Euphony. That's actually pretty good stuff. Cryonic Temple, King of Transylvania. Don't get their album version. Get their mp3.com version if you can find it. It was much better than their album version. Yeah, good stuff. And that all should actually be opening up with the VLC player, so let me fix that. Yes, apply. And that should all look like little triangles there, or little, cones, traffic cones. All right, well, let's see how well you know power metal. Go for it. Angra, Blind Guardian, Heathen, Halloween, Hellstar, Holy Grail, Labyrinth, Rhapsody, which used to be Rhapsody, now it's Rhapsody of Fire, Riot, Shaman, and Slewfeg, also known as the Lord Weird Slewfeg. That's one I can recommend highly because they're so f***ing weird. They're very early, like Iron Maiden in the 70s, in a modern sense. Just weird. A lot of people don't like the singer, Mike Scalzi. Fantastic singer, in my opinion. Really, really great. But probably don't want to play it at the same time as In Flames. Riot. There's a couple of good tracks off of Riot's Thundersteel. Only Blind Guardian albums, huh? Old Blind Guardian. Yes! Okay, alright. Where do you stop? Nightfall and Middle Earth? Or do you go after that and say, the one with the Jerusalem crap? So, I can't remember the name of it. It really didn't have that much of an impact, but... Well, there's a few things about some power metal, I think, that have redeeming qualities, like the technical aspects. I mean, you don't hear many people just, doing that, and having a good time. In death metal, you might. Thrash metal, you don't. It's more like the Millie Petroza, type of thing instead of, a nice... Unless you're like Marty Friedman or something like that. But going on with the power metal, that's kind of intrinsic, to the music, where you're going to hear some technical achievement along the way. And I like that. It's kind of neat. It gives me something to shoot for, some aspiration. But Blind Guardian, well, let's see here. Mostly just old Blind Guardian albums. So yes, really my first one would have been Nightfall of Middle-earth. But Imaginations and Somewhere Far Beyond were pretty much it for me. I really, I listened to those to death. Now let's see here. Well, let's talk a little thrash. Heathen was supposedly thrash metal. Really, and we have to be realistic about this. This is the band that was Lee Altus's launching point into, yes, he was in Megadeth for a very brief amount of time. It's not really talked about, but he was in there just before Iron Maiden. Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong. Unless, of course, you're talking about Angra, which has riffs right now that I can't even do because I haven't worked on them at all. That's, I actually haven't even listened to him for a while. Rest in peace, Andre Matos. Anyway, he died in 2019. Far too young, heart attack. 47, I want to say. So, anyway, yeah. It was a good one, too. Amazing singer. So, Breaking the Silence. Again, Lee Altus's launchpad, not just to, and I consider this power metal. I don't consider it thrash. It's too melodic for thrash. And it has an awful lot of reverb, and they talk about D&D type of stuff, like Goblin's Blade. That's not really thrash. So, from thrash, we'll go with Creator. Very good, very good. Slayer, Annihilator, and old Metallica. Well, I mentioned the Millie Petroza lead work, so yeah. But no, I'm with you all the way. Overkill, fantastic. Good. So I actually was thinking about doing a cover of Horrorscope or I Hear Black, but something like Hello from the Gutter really strikes a chord with me. In fact, off the same album, what I really like is, what is that? Head First. Yeah. I've got a nickel that says you will. That's great. So I'm big on Overkill. So what you're describing right there is my year 1988. And 1989. But most of everything you listen to, or most of everything you've listed, I had heard by 1989 for sure with Annihilator's Alice in Hell. But everything else is like, yeah, that's what made me a guitar player. So, this is what made me play guitar. The things that you just mentioned. So, yeah, Creator's great. Absolutely great. What was that? I think Terrible Certainty and Extreme Aggressions are my favorite from those two. But they've got some really great stuff recently. Have you heard... let's see, Victory Will Come, for instance. That's great. Or Satan is Real, of course. That's kind of getting a lot of air. Well, it was getting a lot of, in my opinion, YouTube airplay. Probably a little too much, but yeah, Victory Will Come is significantly better. That's great. Just great. Yeah, it is. Thank you. I think it's great stuff. I will continue to say it's great. So the, going on with it, though, Heathen. Lee Altus, of course, joined Exodus not too many years after one of the last Heathen albums. I guess none of the original members are really in it except the singer, but anymore. As far as the guitar players go, Doug Piercy went on from like Anvil Chorus and this and did nothing for a while except for Race Cars. And he was a great guitar player, a huge influence on me just with legato stuff alone. Let's pop that into Split Coil. All this kind of stuff. There we go. That kind of stuff. It's just, that was Doug Piercy all over the place. I was like, that's amazing. I've got to learn how to do that. At some point I did. Yeah, let's get some tea, shall we? But no. All we're talking about here is, my youth and where it all kind of came from and where the hell did it go? Well, that was 30 years ago, so there you go. But yeah, I was out and about doing things when all this crap came out. Let's see if we can find something more fun outside of the power metal vein and go to my adolescent leftovers. So if you want your list, there it is. Annihilator, Anthrax, Candlemass, but only one album. Coroner, Danzig, Dark Angel, a little bit. Not very much. I think that's got Seemingly Endless Time in there. Oh no, Dark Angel, not Death Angel. Big difference. So this is Time Does Not Heal. Do you know this group? Because this is your homework tonight. If you don't know them, I would be happy to just go ahead, hang up, and say, you need to go listen to this album if you haven't heard it. It's got like 287 riffs in it. It's where Gene Hoglan got his start. So that was his band coming up. And if you listen to Darkness Descends, you'll hear where Lars got the drumming for One, by the way. So, not really. Okay, so Darkness Descends is fun, just to listen to the intro to that. Tell me, sister, can you hear this? Yeah, right there. Keep in mind, this is 86. One didn't come out for 2 years. Yeah, it looks like you can hear it. Not very well. Let's pump this up to 20 dB. There we go. Good. So in a second, you're going to maybe hear the drums do drummy things like Lars. Now, if that's not One, I don't know what is. But in essence, it is still math. So there you go. Time Does Not Heal. It's not a very lead-heavy thing. There are some leads. But this is the album where they decided to stop trying to be Exodus and be themselves. They also have a different singer on this. And it kicks so much ass it ain't funny. It is very moving. I would not recommend, doing anything, except for, if you wanted to use it as background music, you're going to pay attention to it at some point, so probably not. I think you'll like it. There's not a lot of melodic tendencies. There is melodic tendencies, not a lot like what you've described so far. There's not that kind of melodic tendencies. But for old school thrash, these guys aren't known nearly as much as they should be. And yeah, Gene Hoglan on drums. And Gene, of course, has been in everybody's band, including freaking Deathclock. So, but yeah, you've got... I can offer this too. Have you ever heard Holy Terror's Mind Wars? Because if you haven't, you can use it to make people you don't want to have around go away. Although Damned by Judges is so great. Do Unto Others has more lyrics in it than... who is that? I think we're going to have to go to my rock category. But like the most lyrics I ever heard is in Blues Travelers. Runaround. And it's just insane. But you should check them out, yeah. And again, that's Time Does Not Heal is the name of the album. So, yeah, just great stuff. I heard of them from a guy that I met who was from California. This is a long time. I was still in high school. It's a guy in California, just moved up. His name was TJ. Everybody called him Tony at the time because that's what his name was. So Tony said, who do you like as a guitar player? And he had a really freakishly fast rhythm, picking hand. Really just, he was cooking. So who do you listen to? Oh, yeah, Metallica, Slayer, Dark Angel. Dark Angel, we never heard of them. Got to borrow the album, and immediately was completely floored. I'm like, God dang, I gotta learn how to play like him. How does that? It's almost like a Megadeth riff, yeah. Just fucking insane. And the fact that they could do it for an entire album, like 48 minutes worth, it's really impressive. So, even for somebody like me who can usually just kind of play thrash for hours at a time and have fun. It's like they've trained to be sprinters that run marathons. It's insane. So yes, of course, you got your Nuclear Assault, you got your Ozzy, because I got to lump them in there. You got your Sanctuary, that's another great band. But a little power metal, I think they kind of bleed a little bit on the Judas Priest and King Diamond side, especially for Refuge Denied. It is, yeah. Anyway, Slayer, Testament, Tiamat, Wrathchild, America. So some of these are a little on the poppy side, like Wrathchild, America, Gothic Slam. They're a little poppy. They're still fun. good to listen to. Wrathchild had a great cover of Pink Floyd's Time, for instance, off their first album. And I do recommend that highly. A couple of good cuts off their second album, like the Desert Smiles, or Desert Grins, that's what it is. That's off of 3D. Yes, it would. Mine would too. It's okay. I could recommend this stuff. It's Dragon Bomb. Probably shouldn't be talking about this internationally, because I don't know about laws and moratoriums on THC and whatnot, but there is THC in this. And it's the only time that I actually take it is this way. So, because it's really, really good for things like arthritis. And for, what do you want to call that? Athletic picking hand injuries. Yeah, it ain't bad. Ain't bad at all. So, let's see. Yeah, going on this, though, Drain Time, that's all right. But no, Desert Grins, What's Your Pleasure? That's basically it's about Hellraiser. It's fantastic. So, it even starts out with Pinhead going, I have such sights to show you. I mean, you're into metal. I'm going to make the crazy-ass assumption that you may have seen Hellraiser. So... Let me go ahead and cool it on the crazy... There we go. There we go. Turn that up just a hair. We use it. It works. If he's got something like that, definitely grab. He's an MMA fighter. Well, good for him. Hope he survives. It's good stuff. You come from a large family? Excuse me. Oh, I'm blowing up over here. Well, 2 hours of sleep last night, yes. Hey man, it finally shows up. You get to see the unboxing tomorrow. Let's see. Have a good night. It's my buddy Chris, and if he sees this tomorrow, hey Chris. My buddy Joe. Have I ever heard of a band called Die Antwoord? No, I have not. The question is, am I familiar with the band? No. Nope. And, of course, the delivery notification. All right. Brother and sister. That's it. How about extended family? I'm not... So, well, in a weird way, I count yourself as lucky. Chris Broderick is your brother and sister? No. No. It's a different Chris. He is a guitar player, though. And cool enough, I actually met him on this platform. I was playing a... Yeah, that's it. It's been 2 years since I played it. I can still remember it. That's it. Something like that. No. Ah! More King Diamond for you. So if you're not... I know you said you're not into power metal. I wouldn't rank King there. King is like the extension of Merciful Fate. It's King Diamond. Come on. So, huge new wave of British heavy metal type of stuff from Denmark and Sweden. Come on down and have a great time with it. No, the Them and the Conspiracy albums. That's all you need. Enjoy it. Have a nice time. Listen to the spooky stories. and just enjoy it. But no, Chris got a hold of me after playing that, and he said a while ago, he said so they could play it together. This is a noble goal, and he had quit playing guitar for a while, and he got back into it. And I offered some help. If you want any help, I'll help you. And I don't know, it's been like almost 2 years now, and we talk every day. It's pretty cool. So. No, we, have mutual, like, things. We're about the same. Skipping the strings? How about this exercise? Have you tried this one? Yeah, skipping strings. By ear. Well, you learn it by ear by listening. But no, like I said, we talk like every day. He's great. Chris is a good dude. So, not Broderick, though, who's Canadian. I didn't even really realize that for a while. A predecessor of his. One of my favorite solos on earth. Chris played perfectly when he was in Jag Panzer. There's actually some power metal there for you. But there is a band in Power, and I do not have it. So where might it be? Miscellaneous? Because I know I've got it somewhere. And I ripped every album I had. So let's see. Let's go for Black. Puritanic Euphoric Misanthropia. Holy shit. Just popped in. So it's not in any folders. It's the Mirror Black. That's not it. That's not it. That's just called Black. That's it. We'll find it. Oh, yes, we will. And if I can't find it, I'll be kind of put out. So, Damned in Black. Immortal. Great band. So, let's see. In fact, best album from them, I think, ever. Blizzard Beast notwithstanding. So, let's go ahead. I'm going to get out of there and get out of this and just go back to moi. Hi. And that's it. So, let's do this. Black, Jag Panzer. Doesn't help that my keyboard is now encroached. There we go. And like I said, Broderick, when he was in this, played a fantastic version of it live. Okay. You know I've got like 100 plus of them, right? But you're right, I should. I do have a couple that I'm working on. So let's get right to the lead. Still hear this. So good. So smooth. Great vibrato. So I'll kill it at the end. So yeah, that's one of my favorite leads of all time. I've got a very short list. Avril Lavigne songs. Do you hate me or something? Oh, I think I remember a song of hers coming back to me. It's like 4 chords. No! So there. I just did one. It's called No. So anyway, there was a different guitarist in Jag Panzer at the time. It was not Chris Broderick, who, like I said, wound up playing it like spectacularly well. No, to find out, we're going back into my... Well, you can't see, I've got that closed, but we're going back into my musical archive and looking under the guitar section, of which I have a bajillion guitar players in there. Joey Tafola, GIT grad, and former student of Paul Gilbert's. In fact, Paul Gilbert played on Joey's first Shrapnel record a little bit. It's pretty neat. So I would recommend it. When you hear him, it's like, oh yeah, it's the same guy. And then when you hear Chris play it, it's like, oh, well, maybe it was him. No, it wasn't. It was Joey Tafola, but, Chris just did an amazing job. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do Avril Lavigne covers. I'm not even going to be insulted or pretend to be, but there's a lot of stuff that I did have, like, back in the day. Let me turn this down. There we go. No, I've had stuff in the chamber for a while. That one that I've been playing, yeah. How did that go? I was going to do that, actually, this last weekend, but I didn't. Which is probably good, but what, unfair? What's unfair? Tell me what's unfair. Go ahead. What do you got? Or is that a song from Avril Lavigne? Oh, wait, does it go? So unfair. Yes, I agree. But no, no, you're very nice for saying so. Thank you. But you know, I'm also 50, and I think if you wanted to talk about like people with human nature, that there's a matter of things that some people would rather watch. There's always going to be a couple of different types of people. Okay, some people who are interested in a thing that want to know more about thing. I want to tell as many people as possible about thing, and that's a good match. And then there's some people who would rather look at Pretty Lady. I can't compete with that in that area. All I can do is I want to talk about the thing, or music in general. As you can tell, that I might be kind of a fan of the what I would consider at this point the classics. So, and literally the classics, like classical music, is great. When I'm on clean tone, it's even nicer. So it's classic, sir. So, but yeah, there's no accounting for tastes or for the algorithm for that matter. So, but I appreciate you. You're very nice. So, especially to old people. Hi. And yeah, I do appreciate you. That's very kind of you to say. But no, let's bring it back here. So if I was to do an Avril Lavigne song, what do you think the cup size ought to be? Because right now I'm sporting about a B. So, oh, hey, here's one. So a couple of weeks ago, actually, it's been about a month in the works. I think after the last time we talked, I got in kind of a band, and we've been playing some classic stuffs, and I mean some classic stuff. It's well outside of my wheelhouse, stuff that I've never listened to. But I'm playing it, and I think it's improving me a little bit, but going on with it. One of the songs that was chosen for us by the bass player to play, because it had a nice groove, his name's Tim, good guy, was the Mystical Potato Head Groove Thing from Joe Satriani. And I want to tell you what, this... that ain't easy to do. It's kind of easy, but it ain't at the same time. And he does this thing, too. It's kind of a Chris Polandy type of thing to do. Yeah, that. And at that point, it's very happy. The problem comes in with this. Oh, yes, there's this. Yeah, that. So, how did that go? There we go. But this part, I invite you to play along at home. That's a D minor 9 arpeggio. Known very well from the... Yeah. Whatever that is. The outro of Floods. Something like that. I think somebody asked me to do that a while ago. Something like that. So you mean the part that I'm playing now? Because I just saw the no come across here. It's yeah, I know what you're talking about. That. That. I do too. I think it's one of the most beautiful things he ever wrote. And it's the one real redeeming quality about the Great Southern Trendkill to me, is Floods Part 2 in its entirety. So yeah, it's really special. It's unnervingly special in place. That's something. I mean, because it gives you a feeling of pure hopelessness. I mean, you're hearing the rains coming down and everything like that, and there's nothing you can do at all to stop this. It's really insane. Actually, there was an old band called Camel that hair's standing up, and I've got some hair now. Look at that. There's an old band called Camel. Michael Ackerfeld of Opeth, one of his favorite groups. Oh yeah, melodic death metal. Holy shit, Opeth. What am I talking about? It's there. It's a C. And I've still got this kind of engaged into single coil mode. It's got a nice thwack to it. But Camel was one of his favorite bands, and because of that, I went out and I found a bunch of Camel. So 1974, Moon Madness, and then after that was like 1970. I want to say 1976. Or excuse me, 1974 was Mirage, and then after that was Moon Madness. In Moon Madness, there's a song about floodwaters. It's Spirit of Water. And it's about the flood. And the way they describe it is also very similar to the way I just described the feeling that I get from that Pantera tune. Really, really cool. You should check it out. It's different, though. It's if Jethro Tull, that's not right. If Jethro Tull and early Genesis joined forces with Pink Floyd, that's Camel. And I love it, but it's not for everybody. For real, it's not for everybody. And their live works. Why the heck did they hire a saxophone guy to play sax when there was no sax in the band for those songs? I don't know. To me, it wasn't right. Don't do that, man. Don't change it permanently. Like, could you imagine this? All right, so you're into the haunted. You go to a haunted show, and there's Ola, and they all get up there, and oh yeah, it's the old singer for At the Gates. Look at that. And anyway, so you're watching this, and it's fantastic, and all of a sudden the sax guy comes out, and you think, okay, that's cool for one song, but for every song that you know, so I think it was a mistake. They shouldn't have done that. My opinion, though. I would like to also mention this. I'm kind of a sucker for Halloween things. And this is in orange and black. That's pretty keen. Got to do that. But yes, plug straight into the PA. Go right out. I was hoping to have more than a day to play with it, but I think that's what they all say, right? Band practice is Wednesday, so Wednesday it is. And I got to make sure that I can now just put this in a backpack, grab a guitar, take it with me, and get down there. Instead of hauling all of this in the back of my car and making multiple trips to the band room, I can now just take my backpack and my guitar in and just go and have a good time with it. It's fun. So, what cover would you like to see me do? Go ahead, I'm wide open. Okay, it's because of when they started. They were not the same bands, but they were considered still melodic death metal at the time. I mean, look, have you ever heard Desultory? This is contemporary stuff. Desultory probably came out in 94, 95. They had a song called Winter. It was very great. It was kind of like, of course, they're tuned to D. And you get this. Like, then the gold dresses my soul. I'm not sure what he says, but they came out around the same time. And so bands like that, Amorphous, you got to consider Amorphous in there as well. They were all kind of contemporaries with one another, and none of them sounded exactly the same. None of them laid down exactly what the blueprint was supposed to be for the specific genre, but but they kind of embodied it. Even bands like Therion, which were very theatrical, most people are like, to Mega Therion. I like Voven. I'm a Voven guy. But, okay, 1 second. Which note is better? Which one was better? Oh, wait, or this one. Which note's better? And why? Go ahead, I'm waiting. So, but you see, now that's how it moves you. That's not necessarily how it moves others. So, I just got your shut up. That's it. But you see what I'm saying? So one person's trash is another's treasure. The thing that moves one person isn't necessarily the thing that moves the other. And how can you quantify what's good unless we're talking about some serious quantifiable metrics? If their riffs are better how? Does it require more skill and technical ability in order to be able to play them? If that's the case, Dark Angel wins every time. They're hard to play, But, well, not every time. I'm sure there's a few out there. Cynic, back in the day with Focus could have probably slaughtered the rest of them. But there's some Morbid Angel stuff that's difficult. Carcass with that, they're just and all over the place. Yeah. So, by what metric are we measuring this? By the way it makes you feel? That's completely subjective. That's completely different. You can like it better. That's personal. How do I know something shitty and something isn't? That's completely personal. So I can tell you that I don't like some musics. I really don't. There's like all the 90s grunge stuff. As soon as that came out, that's not for me. I did not like it at all. I found that they were always, vocally speaking, lyric content was always too self-centered and whiny. It didn't jive with me. It didn't jive with me at all. And most of the singers tended to sing flat. They were into simplicity. They were into beauty is not in the either. Are you okay? What is beauty? That is a song from Winds, and I'm going to play that right now. So, and do you know the band Winds? Because if you don't, that's a problem. We're going to have a problem. You don't want us to have a problem. Do you want us to have a problem? I don't think you want us to have a problem. So, in musical, under metal, under miscellaneous is Winds. From the Prominence and Demise, no, Imaginary Reflection of Time. So, all right. I listen to a podcast on a daily basis called Side Scrollers, and they had a good one here about beauty in Eye of the Beholder. Not to be confused with Metallica song how did that go? I forgot how that went. No, it's technically not. Would you like a logical proof of it? By what method is music considered good to a person? And I will show you another person who does not hold the same standard. So the only way I think of music as being bad is if it's not played well. If it's written to be better and they just don't do it justice. So if I tried to spit out a riff that I haven't played forever, like I have pretty much the entire evening talking with you, and I play it poorly, that's not good music. It's poorly played music. That's my kind of limit to that. But the better the execution, the more I'm going to like it. Because it's the more you mean to play something. If you're good enough to really be able to do it and pull it off and do it well, and play it like you mean it. And when I say play it like you mean it, I'm talking about like, not like you're feeling it. This is a difference between like the blues thing. How can you tell they're feeling what they're playing? I think of feeling as like the Bruce Lee deal, where it's kind of like you don't think, feel. How do you feel? Let me think. No. Don't think. Feel. It's like a finger pointing the way to the moon. Don't look at the finger, or you ignore all that heavenly beauty. When the fist wants to strike, it does it all by itself. In other words, if you're that in tune with your instrument, you already know what to play, and you're playing it. So that's kind of how I see the feeling thing. Well, how can you judge if that person's actually doing it or not? You can't. So you can't say he feels the music. I'm not saying you say that. I'm just saying it cannot be said that he really feels, Eric Clapton really feels what he's playing. Joe Bonamassa really feels. No, they don't. How can you tell? Are you sure? So, have you been in their mind lately? And did you feel the emotion strike when they're playing this day in, day out, over and over and over and over again? Other people's stuff. How much emotion are they really having, or is it an act? Because they're actors too. Hate to say it, but there's truth there. All right, what is beauty? Here we go. Yes, it starts out with keyboards, because this is the leftovers from Arcturus back when they were good. Take that, Arcturus. Hellhammers is on drums. Jan Axel von Blumberg, same guy. Carl August Tideman, also known as August on this, as the guitarist, also a GIT grad, and a heck of a nice guy. And apparently a technology salesman. And a bass player, who's also a vocalist. A guy by the name of Winter as the keyboardist. So it starts out with poetry. This is a great album. Came out around 2004. And I bought it like the day it was released. And here it goes. Big influence. No harsh vocals, though. Might throw you for a loop. So apparently he can show you what beauty is. So hear me out. Well, at any rate. I don't know. So if you want to go ahead and tell me how I'm wrong, tell me how I'm wrong. Quantify it if you can. Give me a logism that fits our interlocution with eloquence and makes good sense. Come on. Right. Missing a little context. Yolandi's vocals. What would happen if Danny left Cradle of Filth and Yolandi took over the vocals and they went kind of pop punk? Oh, no. No. Okay. Stop. So that's my friend Joe. We could talk about Joe a little bit, and no, it's not Joe Holmes, although I know someone who knows him. Actually, I know someone who knows someone who knows him, but he spoke to him just the other day, so that's kind of neat. No, this would be Joe, different Joe, and he is a good buddy of mine. Was best man at my wedding 26 years ago. Good fella. Into all sorts of death and black metal as well. Wait a minute. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but I will try and listen to it at some point. I promise. I seem to do that a lot, don't I? So, Yes. Hey, Stu, you're out. How you doing, man? Yes, I was just talking about you. So, well, kind of actually. I was talking about my friend Joe. And I said, because the lady above, you may have seen it, asked me when I said Chris, she asked if it was Chris Broderick, and I'm like, no. So obviously she thinks famous people. So when I said it's not Joe Holmes, although I know a guy, and then I corrected that to know a guy who knows a guy. Anyway, how you doing, Stu? You feeling the vibes, man? What kind of riffs are you writing? Do they go like this? Hey! Because that would be pretty cool, man. And then you could do like a lead over the top. Wouldn't that be keen? I think so. What about this? Here. You're probably not writing those riffs, are you? Would be fun, though. So, Stu, I got a question for you. Which note is bad? Which note is bad? Oh, fantastic, dude. I'm glad you're on it. Great. Can't wait to hear it when it's done because you did really good on that. So, yeah. Are you going to be using that with the band that you were jamming with the other day? Any of it? Or is this going to be like the live version? Oh, sister, if you're still out there, the guy that I'm talking to right now, that's the guy that talked to him yesterday. Ooh, spooky. And you want to hear a really good guitar player, you listen to him. He's really good. So, I mean, really good. So, yes, the second one. I know what you're talking about, dude. I know what you're talking about. He's, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. Yeah, so, again, though, are you going to be playing that with the live group that you jammed with the other day? Are they hip to that? Are they capable? There you go. Say hey, Stu. Oh, please. If you're going to start a new metal band, please spell it with NU. I kid. Real Teeth? Good. That one's not. Wait. That one's not. So, all the rest of them are. I lost this when I was 16, so yeah. There you go. Conversation, good. Looking people up. You see, this is a worldwide experience. It's quite wonderful. Now, sister, not to be completely challenging on this, but I'm still waiting for a logical explanation as to why I'm wrong about the subjectivity of music. He does have gaming content on his channel. Very good. He also has him playing bass every once in a while, and he just streamed live the other day. Ain't that right, Stu? No, he's a ridiculously good guitar player. Hands down. And he owns 3 guitars that I made. So, you know. There you go. So let me start clicking around on some stuff here. You people are channel moderators now. No, you're not, but you totally could be. Where am I? Here I am. All right, so clickety here. Bloop. There's a good channel. There we go. And Stu. We're going to go to your channel together and take a look, eh? So... Oh, bless you, bud. Thank you. Stu. Yeah, there's really not a lot of guitar playing. Although all the music on his channel, he created. So he is... I'm just going to lay it out there, sister. He's kind of like a crazy-ass savant genius. Like 200 IQ kind of genius. Seriously. So he's oh yes, Stu, I'm telling the truth, man. You were one brainiac MFer. Smart guy. So... What are you telling me? You didn't... The Birth of Right Chris is not your best music? It's a joke, because that's not music.
Become right wing. Cancel me.
I love that, though. But he does play bass as well, and a bunch of other good stuff. But, yeah. Stu, these pickups are incredible, and you need to buy a pair. $48 for them, and I mean, really, they'll do anything you ask. Look at that thing. As long as I can do it. Maybe they don't want that A, but still, without gatekeeping, someone can say is my favorite. Okay. So. I'm glad you believe in objectivity. This is good. I'm going to set my guitar down for this. We're going to have a discussion, you and I. And Stu will probably chime in as well, because I'm not sure if he's 100% eye to eye with me on this. People have farted and said their farts are better than Led Zeppelin. So that's a very good example. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Why is it, I was listening to Side Scrollers, this is where I was going with that. Why is it there's even a talk about who's better looking, Gal Gadot or, what's her name? See, well, there's your answer right there, isn't it? The gal who played Black Widow and several other things. Looks like she got punched in the mouth. What's her name? Can never remember her name. Black Widow. Scarlett Johansson. So, who's better looking? I think it's an unequivocal thing there. Yes, you can say that we're talking about Led Zeppelin level greatness compared to, not a fart, but compared to, oh no. So, says Led Zeppelin level greatness, yes, compared to something of a lesser group like Rainbow, okay? Rainbow is still pretty good, but it ain't Zeppelin. And you certainly couldn't compare it to like what was before Rainbow, not necessarily in a physical, physicality, technical sense, but you could compare it to Deep Purple, but definitely couldn't compare it to Deep Purple in the sense of like making money. So you see, there's so many different aspects to this. I just can't jive with it. So one of the things that I can talk about, as in like if we're talking about beauty specifically, if this person is better looking than another, is shapes. Now, shapes are quantifiable. There's the symmetry in the face, the where the eyes are. Ooh, hello, golden ratio, and all that kind of stuff. You can talk about metrics, and then you can start talking about group preferences. Like a larger group prefers a person with eyes set here as opposed to set up here or down here. But not all of them will. Now, this is going to lead to something called the bell curve, where the majority are here, but you'll still see outliers. This is why there's a curve. Those outliers prove that not only the middle exists. So, if we're going to really talk about music in the sense of being an objective, quantifiable thing, we can only really talk about it in the metrics that I've talked about, like technicality. But does something being purely technical mean that it's good? No. Well, what does it mean to have good music? Well, it certainly has to have melodic content, but again, it's in the eye of the beholder. Some people like 12-tone rows. Some people like Stravinsky's Rite of Spring because of the 27 random jabs in the music. Some people really dig that stuff. And, you can take music appreciation all you like, but it doesn't necessarily mean that, you're going to learn to appreciate Beethoven in a real sense if you didn't like Beethoven in the first place. The same goes with any other style of music. Now, for me, like I was saying, I hate grunge and alternative. And hate's a really strong word, but I really do. And I hate most of all what it turned pop music and the adherence of people who liked that kind of music generally into is like anti-technique, trying hard to really, establish yourself as a musician of some clout with skill. Skill is a very important thing. trouncing on traditionalists or traditionalism. In other words, somebody who studied very hard, went to school, actually practiced on a day in, day out basis, because that just makes you a clone. Right. I'm playing 100-year-old blues licks day in, day out, and I figured them out myself because I didn't want to learn from anyone. That's a real problem to me. Anyway, so I don't like hypocrisy at all, but in saying that music is quantifiably good or bad and is not a subjective thing, I think is kind of outside of the zone. I don't think you're right about this. So as far as an objective, the objective qualities of music, like I said before, you can talk about like quantifiable things, gain. You can talk about how much gain is used in the signal. You can talk about signal change. Stu, you can talk about the quantification of why loud drums are better than anything else. I mean, but it's true, and we've had this conversation before. But as far as and this is why you said, "Oh no," but you could talk about that kind of stuff, but it really, in no possible way. Yes, thank you very much. I agree completely, Stu. It is. Self-taught is. I think self-taught is a cell phone. I always have. But that whole movement is a summary of that music, and that music, of course, reminds me of the movement. And in both cases, they sucked, but it's a self-reinforcing suck. So music after the 2000s, I didn't care for anything Fred Durst. I didn't care for anything like that. I don't like rap in my metal. Thank you very much. So I think that's like applying pineapple to clam chowder. Why would you want to do that? So don't do that. So 27 random jabs. Well, it's true. Stravinsky's Rite of Spring has 27 random rhythmic jabs in there, and there's no way you can figure out by counting where they are. You have to memorize their positions in the music and go from there. It sucks, but it's true. Stu, it's here. I have yet to plug it in, but at some point I will. No. So if you can give me a better argument than that, that's not so much of an argument, but a statement. If you can tell me why, sister, that I'm wrong about music being a subjective quantity, about somebody liking something better than something else, and, that somebody liking something better than something else is fine, It doesn't mean that, we all have to like the same things, because if everybody liked exactly the same thing, then there would only be like one good. And if there's only one good and everything else is bad, what makes that bad? Is it because people don't like it? Does a collective consensus mean truth? That's the best question of the night for you. Or is it okay for outliers to have their opinions? Why don't you let people in your country from other countries? And believe me, I'm actually really, really pro you guys not doing that. That's great. Except for me, I'd love to come to Poland. Let me in. So it seems like one of the only sane places on earth right now. So there you are. I wouldn't even try anything funny. I'm married, so happily. By the way, so yeah, this. I do not need MIDI, but I have things for MIDI, and it's weird. TRS. So yes, sister. I don't know if you're at work right now or if you have time to compose a treatise as to what I'm saying being incorrect. Yeah. Can't wait to hear it. I'll warn you, though, my wife said this a long time ago. It's best not to get in an argument with me unless you want to lose. And I like arguing because it's fun. I hold no problem. Oh, I can't see the whole thing. Here, I'm going to say nonsense words. There we go. Maybe I'm right. Yes, maybe I am. You're fantastic. And I would have still liked to, go back and forth a few rounds. Prove me wrong. I love it when people try. I think I'm well reasoned and I'm willing to learn. So if I'm wrong, I'd like to be wrong. It'd be fine. But the subjective versus objective thing. I think we can quantify beauty and consensus somewhat. Like I was saying, the Scarlett Johansson versus Gal Gadot thing. I think from here down, Scarlett Johansson's got it. From here up, it's Gal all the way. Just to be completely frank. But there's and for men, I mean, I'm not completely I can't talk about the sexiness of guys. No, sure, fine. Well, the abs of Jake Gyllenhaal, for instance, meets the overall physicality of Dolph Lundgren. Sure, Darth Lundgren. So, yeah, you could probably, which he had the abs as well. So, yeah, mix those two together, and women will probably just go, ah. So there you are. But it's and in comparison to somebody like myself, this is just self-referential is the reality of it all. I mean, I understand it. I like being a realist. Is that by comparison, I'm way on the losing end of that one. So, and it's fine. It's really it's totally cool, and it's understandable. But there's still an outlier. How do I know? I got married. Granted, I was younger and skinnier at the time, but that's that. Comparing music to looks and people is not on point. It is on point. Why wouldn't it be on point? Because we're talking about the likes and dislikes. Boil this down to what it really is. This is someone feeling a like for something. How can you quantify that with a collective? Okay, human instinct. For survival? And what if the person immediately opens their mouth and goes, oh, I don't know, governor. And you hear that and you go, oh, there's a mistake there. Boy, you're pretty, but I can't do that. So I do know about some things recently. I mean, women with apparently larger breasts. I read this. This is an article. It was also on Side Scrollers. So like I said, I listen to them daily. There is so you should listen to them too, just so you know where I'm coming from. But they were talking about that being it is an effective it's an effective evolution to assist in lower IQ people in better breeding options. In other words, getting a leg up, right? So, but at the same time, what would be the equivalent in music? 145. I'll bet you. And I think that's a pretty good way of figuring that out too, because anything 145, or 15461, don't lie about what? Oh, deformed face, woman, or supermodel. I kind of tend to, I like sixes a lot myself. So, but I mean, look at me. I'm kind of like a 4 now, and I used to be a 6. When I was younger and better looking with the long hair and, skinnier. So, but anyway, and I'm 5'3". What do you want? I'm not a 6 foot Adonis. It's just not the way it is. So again, I'm a realist. So deformed face woman or supermodel? I don't know. Let's ask questions about the supermodel. Is she leaving her underwear on bread? I don't like that in a person at all. So I would rather take somebody who is humble and nice and we can have good conversations with over that characteristic. So that's just me. 6 is the best. That's very funny. So I'm not lying. I married an 8. And she's always been a 10 to me. But I married up. It's for sure. Not economically speaking. She's always been much better looking than I am. So I mean that's great. I mean, I'll show you. I'll just do this. So keep the wife out of this, right? While I'm dropping things. Clear the dust off of this. We don't have very many pictures in the house, but here's one. So that was honeymoon. There, she's on that side wearing my coat. So she pretty. So at any rate, yeah, I married up. So and yeah, 26 years later, how about them apples? So anyway, going on with the story. So what can I say though? I mean, if she was, I've dated women that weren't exactly the most attractive because they were attractive to me mentally, because we could have good conversations. So I'm not everybody, but I'm also not looking to just go ahead and like race continuation. Let's go. Let's breed more humans. Let's go. I've not been about that. That is a line one could use to get women at one point, but that's not, the thing. So what if it was music? Yes. Okay. So what if it was music? Yeah. What if it was music? So you want me to muse about it? Because I can talk my head off and everybody else's ears off. Yeah. What if it was music? So if music was a 6, If I was to rank music, I rank music on a whole bunch of different things. This may seem weird, but I'll do it this way. Yeah. What if she was super ugly and has great hair? I've dated one. What do you want? I didn't marry the one, but I mean I dated one. What? Yeah. So, but she wasn't super ugly on the inside. She just was kind of homely, and she was probably a 3 or a 4, but on the inside she was really cool, and we got along really, really well until she kind of went weird. And I didn't want to be around her. There was another girl that I dated for a time when I was around 20. Her name was Tracy. And this is before I met my wife. But Tracy was, I was about 20. Tracy was pretty cool and kind of cute. She was kind of a 4 or a 5. But she was just about the sweetest person you've ever met in your life. And then you started dating her. We started dating. And everything became communist. So let me explain that. Yeah, that explains everything. So inversely, what if a supermodel cheats on you all the time? Exactly. And of course, just like that, 10s in music will cheat on you all the time. So better to be a 5. So, and I think that's objectively bad. Stu, excellent. Well, good point. Where I couldn't explain it, but because I'm trying to stick with the numbers versus feelings versus facts, because facts don't care about feelings, and feelings don't care about facts. If somebody really feels some way about something, like, oh, the beauty of this microphone, there is nothing that's going to convince them otherwise. That's how they feel. See? It's just how it works. It's the same with music, in the sense of that you cannot really, unless you're talking about certain physical skill level requirements, like world's fastest guitar player. It's kind of a lie, but there's a thing out there where you have to play Flight of the Bumblebee, right? It was the Guinness Book of World Records that chose Flight of the Bumblebee from Rimsky-Korsakov as their song because it requires a certain skill level for mastery. And that because of that skill level, that they could really kind of, all right, piece it down. The world's fastest guitarist can play it at so many beats per minute. I think that was like 300. And I know they went to an absurdity. And at that point, they're actually not even playing. And there's a MIDI file backing track playing in the background that kind of sounds like a guitar. And it's really just like, done. It's 1,200 beats per minute. No, it's not physically possible. My fastest, I could play about 26 notes a second. That's it. That's fast. Or was it 26 notes a beat? What was it? 400 beats per minute, 16th notes. Do you do the math? Maybe it was 14 notes a second. Maybe it was 16. I could do that, I guess. But if anybody wants to chime in with that, there you go. Wait, okay, sister, who are you talking to? Wait a minute. Stu or me? Where did I leave off? So, that explains everything. Yes, okay. But what if they were into that? So there's the other side of that coin. If he destroyed his argument by suggesting objectively bad with a person doing something, there's always somebody with a kink. Right? Well, I like it when so-and-so does something or another, behind my back. It's great. So, of course, I don't actually believe that exists. But maybe some people are actually like that. Or maybe some people, who knows? So, as far as the... all right, now, who's talking to who? Sister? Are you... You wanting to throw the logic at me then and say how I was wrong? If you were talking to me? So I like arguments better than assertions, and I'm willing to give them to you in aplomb. In fact, if you'd like to get on here, I will find a way to send you a Zoom link so we can hash this out. What do you say? I don't even have Zoom, but I'm down for it if you are. We can argue about the merits. You won. How did you win? You won nothing. So, give it to me straight. How did you win? Tell me what you did. I will wait for your response. keep in mind there is a delay, so if you're typing it now, I won't see it for like 10 or 20 seconds, so there's going to be some silence. Mm-hmm. All right. Let me ask you this question. In music, does it make somebody... Oh, wait. I think I know where I got off on that. Okay, so the Rimsky-Korsakov thing. They hold that as a metric. Guinness Book of World Records to do it. But does that mean I have to like the music? So, just because they chose something as being like the standard bearer, does that mean I have to like the standard bearer? Like, who is that 12-tone row? What's that guy's name? Can never remember his name. Sister, you didn't just do all that and then bail, did you? Oh my God. Oh yeah, Dodecaphony, 12-tone serialism. Howard Schoenberg, Aaron Schoenberg. On a technical level, the music is technically good. I can't stand it. Ah, you're there. Why is ugly, or why ugly is ugly and beauty is beautiful? It depends on who you ask. And a lot of times it also depends on your age. So, 50, beauty to me is a little bit different than it was when I was 20. So, I mean, like by a significant margin. So, kindness, logic, intelligence, and the ability to argue have become pretty top 10, actually. So, I'm telling you, I like to argue. So, you know, if somebody else likes to argue with me, that's great. Let's go. So, but, you know, this went from a guitar show to a philosophy channel, so that's okay. So, but it depends on who you ask. Why is ugly ugly to you and beauty beautiful to others? I mean, or beauty beautiful to you? What? That's... You could make a petty argument. Let's not be petty here, man. I'm going to play some Aaron Schoenberg, though, while we banter this out. And you tell me if this is good music. Because, again, in some circles, this is quantifiably good music. And I'm hoping that we landed on a tone poem, by the way. Oh, no. Man can't be a woman, all that kind of stuff. I am an objectivist when it comes to real things. But when it comes to music, that's completely subjective. So, no. A guy is a guy, girl is a girl. I'm very happy you swing that way. That's awesome. But no, cats can't be dogs. You know, there is a separation in things. But when it comes to what somebody likes, I like the color orange. But that doesn't mean I'm right that the color orange is cool. Do you know what I mean? That's a different thing. And some things should be illegal, by the way. Like people thinking the color orange is not cool. So, the apex I reach at 50 can be reached before that by other people that are simply not you. Everyone has their own trip, man. Stu, you goddamn hippie. And I'm the one wearing like the Hawaiian shirt and khakis, you know, but still. Yeah, so here we go again. Trying that again. Aaron Schoenberg, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even a 12-tone row. Let's do 12. Atonalism. There we go. Let's try this one. You can start it. Okay, so I'll ask you this. When it comes to ugly person, I'm going to read you verbatim here. When it comes to ugly person will never be happy in a relationship, or be in a happy relationship, the same as bad music will never be good. What if one of the people in that ugly relationship, or ugly person in the relationship type of thing, what if they're found attractive by their partner, their chosen mate? You know, girl, guy, whichever one. Like me, I'm not the most handsome man in the world, and I definitely married up. My wife loved me. I think she still does. I'm a handful, but I think she still does. We got a great kid, probably about your age actually. So, everything turned out pretty okay. But I would argue that Ugly Mug, I can make her laugh, and I've got some degree of intelligence, some degree of personality that she found pretty okay. So ugly guy can be happy in a relationship. Thank you very much. So going on with that, it's not like I had my pick of the litter, I just got lucky. So, which is supposed to be about music, but nevertheless, music is an aesthetic thing, Stu. So yeah, I don't like rap music either. And like I was saying, rap and metal should never mix. No. It was fine with Anthrax, and then leave it alone. But no, it became an idiom. And it's like I was saying, pineapple in your... some people pineapple in pizza. I like pineapple, but I don't like rap. Yeah, there's that. But let's see. Yeah. Well, country music is technically not bad when you've been drinking enough. But maybe that's more of a testament that you shouldn't be drinking. So, I mean, think about it. So, if you find yourself liking something when you're not of your sound mind, not in your sound mind, maybe that's more of a testament not to the fact that you're really liking this on the inside, but that if you like things that you normally are repulsed by, you're screwing up by doing whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, that's telling you something. I'm sorry that we're boring you. What would you rather us talk about? Probably music. Okay, well, sorry. My apologies. What should we continue on about then? Because I don't want to call anybody out and just say, you're wrong. Although I think it's fun. So please understand my perspective on this. My joy is like, oh yeah, challenge? Let's go. And, I'll beat that horse to death. It'll be fun. But if you don't want to continue, that's fine. You don't have to. Stu. I don't know, man. If I could live in a happy world without rap, I'd be okay. But it's not just the rap, it's the culture that surrounds it that I would be better off without, personally, the crime, the violence, the gun worship, the pot worship. Are you speaking to me? I will believe what I want, and I'm happy about it. But you can too, and that's the beauty of it. There's no right or wrong with that, in my opinion. So, yeah. But that's about it. No, probably not. So the Matrix thing. Oh, that's a fun one. Have you heard about? This is actually enjoying not playing right now. Have you heard about? I'm sure you have simulation theory. Yeah, Stu, I know you have. That's the thing. So as far as like the Matrix thing goes, I don't exactly believe in it, but there's a variant of it that I'm kind of keen on. So one of which is we're like a video game in a server. And Stu, I think you've heard me talk about this, but I think good. Okay. So I actually think that we're all NPCs. That we don't have some around in the Matrix. I think we all are. There's no one objectively outside of that. That we are intelligent machines programmed to be intelligent machines. Not unlike The Sims, we can have conversations and whatnot, stuff like that. And, whoever's watching up here goes, ooh, that's interesting. And, create an interesting happenstance and stuff like that. But my simulation theory is atheist version of theology. It is. It absolutely is. But so here's my version of it, which actually ties the two together. We're on a server. At one point, the server wasn't on. This would explain the time problem with, the Big Bang, the creationists' view of everything. It kind of, messes it together. Server turns on. All space is created at once. Yet we can see all the stars as if it was much older than it is. Server's only been on for us, a few thousand years, but for them, it's been a few months. And within that few months period of time, all the people that were playing it, like the angels and demons and stuff like that, well, they just kind of stopped. We don't really have players anymore. And the world will eventually come to an end when the server's turned off. Fun, huh? So, you don't think we have free will? We may or may not. So, the other thing that I believe in is fatalism. In a weird way, I think fatalism is correct. Because if you think about it, it's a paradox. That no matter what you do, you were always destined to do that thing. So that's an interesting take. It's actually an orthodox take as well. But but I think that it's because the God thing, religion wise, the Lord sees the end from the beginning, that kind of thing, where you can look down, kind of you see a parade going by. All right, so if you're in a helicopter, you see where the parade started and stopped. So he has an extra dimension of how things kind of work out. And if I was the programmer, I would know how things worked out too, if you know what I mean. So, a rat in a tunnel, that's us, yes. We see things in a very linear way. We can still, think back. We can't really look back in time. We can't see forward in time either. We're just in this trapped little thing, two-dimensional. But I think you're kind of right about the free will thing, actually, because if you think about it, no matter what you have chosen to do, it's what you have always been chosen to have done. That was always in the works, in a very clockwork universe kind of way, and that would of course preclude free will as well. But a person can go mad thinking about that. They really, really can. Sure. Although we can't go back. And we can try to turn left or right, but that doesn't do anything to us in this chronographic present. So if we're talking about calculus, where I just move this way and each one is quantified as a single step in movement, nothing I'm doing changes anything until the event of change. Pretty fun. That's what I say. You can go nuts thinking about it. It's fun though. But no, I think that there's some merit in it. Whether or not I actually believe it, I don't know. But I think there's some merit in the whole idea that we're all NPCs and the players left the game a long time ago thing. At least that's kind of what I think. So, yeah. But NPCs are fun. We're all NPCs after all. Yeah, but promise of reward at the end and all that kind of stuff. Still becoming one with the universe once again, becoming information, because the information is never really lost. So, and there's truth there, and the rest is so that's nature. The rest is nurture. But it was always destined to be the way it became. So, but okay, here's another one for you. Random happenstance. So random things do occur. Random walk of atoms. We can't really quantify anything else but okay, atom is getting bumped by atom, moves this way, Brownian motion. So things are being, moving at kind of random all around. Chaos mechanics, all this kind of stuff. Butterfly effect, all that crap. Throw it all in there. Freak hailstorms like we had here yesterday was amazing. Hail this big, hitting my car. My God, we don't have that here very much. So ever. So, King of the Kill by Annihilator. Yes, I am familiar with it. Has nothing to do with King of the Hill by a different band. But yes, so King of the Kill. Did you want me to play that? I know of it, but I never learned it. But by the way, that's off of Never Neverland, right? Or Neverland. And there was a song on that, The Fun Palace, that I used to play when I was 19. One of the first songs I ever learned by ear. I don't know why I didn't keep that up. Oh, wait a minute. That's not off of Never Never Land. That's off a different one. But I am familiar with it. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I have it. So if I don't have it, I'll just go find it somewhere else. And that would be under metal. Did I put it under power? I did not yet. Oh, yes, good. Okay, so where is Adolescent Leftovers, Annihilator, Never Never Land? No, that's like Craft Dinner, stuff like that. Set the World Afire. No. King of the Kill. Oh, it's from the album of the same name. Duh. Sorry, Jeff Waters. You're an amazing guitar player. Don't hold it against me. So, all right, here it comes. No bad endings. Look at that. Check that out. King of the Kill. What do we got? Please be tuned to E. D. Yeah, he's tuned to D. Give me a second. I'll get a guitar I can tune to D. Like this one. So. Something like that. Ah, wrong one. It's not like Adrian Belew or Vandenberg. No. Leg. Adrian Leg. Actually, something like that. Actually, could just be. I'm right in between there. Oh. There. That's it. Okay. Well, thanks for having me drag that out. I haven't heard that in a while. And the acoustic performance, I think. So. Something like that. So. Yeah. Actually, what's the best tuner? A guitar that's already in tune. Oh, that's if I'm tuning to E. So, a very interesting thing. You could, you ever mess around with altered tunings? Do you have an acoustic? This And that's it. There we are. It's good riff. If I played it okay. Could be. But I could have sworn it was like a... The more I listen to it... Or... I assume you can already play it. So... I promise you, if you decide to live stream, I will not talk to you about aesthetics. So... Yeah. Oop. That's right. There we are. Now, Jeff's one of the best guitarists out there, man. Really, really, really good. And, you know, he's a funny guy, too. One of the things that he talks about often is how he really only got his picking hand by playing Slayer and AC/DC. And I think that's hilarious because, I mean, for God's sakes, really? Okay. But, you know, and the funny part about it is I don't think he's lying. I think he really did. All right, I'm going to play, you know, Black Magic. That just... Yeah, you just sit down and do that over and over again, and yeah, okay, you're gonna really get your picking. If you can really get that whole thing in there. Right now, my upstrokes are way exceeding my down. That sounds weird, but it's true. So here's a tool for cleans. Cleans. There we go. This is the, there we go, stylus pick. It's actually pretty good right there. Highly recommend for picking hand stuffs. It helps me recalibrate. I'm resting on my laurels. I know that I'm not going to be nearly as fast as I was when I was 30 or 32 for that matter. But when it comes down to, you know, still being able to play at a certain level of skill, this is helpful because it's not a pick. It's not you're not expected to play with it. It's not like the thing that I've been playing with all night. This little D'Andrea Dunlop, whatever the heck it was, I'm not even sure. But it's a jazz style pick. This is designed for maximum like deflection. So because of that shape, there we go. Because of that shape right there, you're playing. If your string goes here, it's not going to let you pick through the string. Maximum resistance. So in order to get playing quickly, you have to really just kind of let that little tip balance on that string. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're not really leaving it. You're just staying there. That's the type of thing I'm talking about for calibration. The getting your picking hand back to doing what it's supposed to be doing without doing too much. So just kind of wiggle it on the string. And of course you can combine that with exercises, you know. Really recommend these though. Well, anyway, so with the stylus pick, what I would do, if I actually got on it today, which I hadn't until now, I would sit down and pretty much just go back and forth on a low E for a while. Mute, take notes if you feel like it. Keep in mind that the string angle does change slightly every time you go up the neck just a hair. So if you decide to pick forward, it's going to change just a little bit. You can even hold the pick still and pick with the vibrato instead. Just try to concentrate on relaxing. And playing wrong notes, it's okay, just as long as you're trying to play. That's that. And when you're done, 5 or 10 minutes should do it. You can go... Yeah, I know. I know they can. I appreciate you warning me about that. But there's nothing much I can do about it. I already played a couple tonight, plus I played that as well. Am I still up? That's the question. As of now. And who the hell am I? I have like 800 subscribers, you know. And so I don't think they'll go after the little guy for it yet. I think once I hit 1,000, then they'll be like, ooh, the little guy is growing hair. We have to stop that. So as it is right now, I'm not monetizable as it is. You know, like I was saying, the metrics for monetization are enormously hilarious to me. If you're not familiar, you should become familiar. This is very funny to me. And it could be funny to you too. Listen to this. So it used to be like you have to just have 1,000 subscribers. Okay. Well, I've almost got 1,000. Well, you can't have just 1,000 subscribers now if we're going to pay you for this. In other words, run ads that make people... Now, have an ad blocker for one. If you don't, I just don't know what where you've been. You have to have an ad blocker. But, yeah, here's the thing. Now, yeah, like I said, it's not just 1,000 subscribers. It's 1,000 subscribers plus 4,000 hours annually, rolling 365 days of watch time. As soon as you don't have 4,000 hours of watch time within a 365 day period, they cut you off. You're no longer monetizable because they expect growth. Okay, so going on with that, you can substitute that and have something else. You have to have at least 3 uploads, like shorts, in the last 90 days, which I do. I do a short a week based on something that I play that hopefully I like to listen to, and then if it seems like stunning, crazy, blah, all right, great, I put it up, and if somebody likes it, that's great. I've actually grown my channel by about 10 members per every single time I do that. It doesn't show it; it's not really reflected here, but the people that I talk to, I'm really happy to talk to. You, great, Stu. Bill, I wonder where Bill is. I actually heard from him in 3 weeks, but he and I talk all the time too. So, or at least we used to, and then something funny happened and kind of disappeared. Maybe I ought to reach out to Bill. I think I should reach out to Bill. Bill, you alive? You doing okay, man? Guitar Pits of Horrors doing all right for you? Or... That's his channel. Or you can do that and then... Spooky. So, yeah, about the Bill thing. Oh, yeah. So, you have to have that many subscribers. You have to have that many contiguous hours of, watch time from other people. You can't just sit down and watch your own channel for 4,000 hours a year. But they kind of weed all that stuff out. Or it's like 93 million views on shorts in a 365 day period. You've got to be kidding me. Shorts cannot be that popular. No, fucking way. By sheer numbers alone, as far as viewing, TikTok is technically a larger platform than YouTube. Well, who the heck is YouTube? You want a small platform? I'd go to Rumble and stream any day of the week, but they don't like guitar content over there. It doesn't seem like it, at least. They got one guitar channel. And now I upload there too from time to time, but it's not the same. But anyway, I do this for free because I like to play and I want to help people. And I know that's dumb, but it's true. So it's just not all about me. As if anybody has any questions, that like you did that one time when you popped in a couple, 3 weeks or 4 weeks ago and wanted some help, and I fucked up and didn't help you like I said I was going to, and I will, I promise. Now again, just sometime this weekend, guaranteed. So yeah, because I have band practices on Wednesdays now. Anyway. But I will help. But I want to help. That's why I'm doing this. If anybody just, hey, I'm just a random guitar guy. Do you know the answer to this question? Yeah, maybe. Hey, random guitar guy, do you like nuclear energy? Yes. Why? Well, let me tell you about it and its real safety record. Blah blah blah. You know. It's an excellent note combo, don't you think? So. So if the bar hits your pants and stops you, that's a problem. So yeah, I'm not too worried about YouTube coming along and destroying my teeny tiny Widow channel. Like that. Did you know you can take a standard fifth, 1, 4, 5. Let's do a 1 here on G. Did you know you can go up a minor third from that? Play it an octave lower? And that is technically a minor chord. Although a lot of people would probably say it's a B flat over G, or G with a B flat in the bass. No, it's G minor. Simple as that. If you play here, it's G minor 7. Why wouldn't this be just a G minor? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. But if you play it here, you have a major now, so. You can scoot around like that and play all sorts of things. Like, here's a 13. Sure you're loving all this weird cleanness. Anyway, it's nice to have you around. So so what have you been practicing lately? What have you been playing? Is it the is it the Annihilator stuff? What have you been playing? Tell me of yourself. Avail. Is there an audition that I need to know about? So what have you been playing in the In Flames category? You know I'm going to probe, right? That's what I do. Yeah, tune 2 on average. E flat, G. E flat or D. Well, the D would not surprise me. Okay. So you know what I have to do now. Bullet Ride, Cloud Connected to the Mirror. It's a good thing these all aren't one song name. That'd be a real long song. Blap. If you were to pick one, which would you pick? People do covers of this stuff. The very first thing in there is a cover. I'll be darned. You should do a cover. If you'd like, of course. But, you know, 1,000,000 subs is yours and awaiting. Starry with me. Or is that supposed to be stay with me? You're not using tabs, right? C. C minor. I figured that's what it was. And I'll bet you they're tuning to C. How about C minor?
Don't ever let them use you. They will bring you to your knees.
Do you really want to have this discussion with me?
I try to lead you for a while.
All I will say is that it's apparent to me you don't really watch a lot of other content on my channel.
You're too afraid to see. Open your eyes.
No, there's nothing wrong with tabs. I didn't say that out loud. Let me explain this in a way that is non-argumentative. I do not want to, create any riffs here, unless they're guitar riffs. Thank you. Tabs are a limiting factor because what we're really playing here is the mimicking game. So if you and I were to sit in a room, face to face, kind of like we are now, except we're not, 26,000 miles apart or whatever. Probably more like 7,000 or 8,000, but still. If we're sitting in a room, we're talking to each other, mano a mano, and we're playing a game called Mimicry. And I tell you, okay, I'm going to say this sentence. And I say a sentence like, stay with me, In Flames topic, 1.3 million views, March 1st, 2019. And you would have to repeat to me exactly what it was that I said to you. That's a language, that's a human thing, it's communicative, right? And I'll bet that in some way, you could say exactly what, if I'm just making things up, not reading it off of here. If I'm just making stuff up, like, I saw a witch flying on the wall, and over here is a light source. You could say, I saw a witch flying on the wall, and over here is a light source. That would be you mimicking me well. And why can you do that? It's because you listened to what I said, you processed it, and then you figured out in here and in here, pretty much, and here, what you would have to do in order to make similar sounds to what I did. Not just in words, because I could say, there's a witch on the wall, and there's a light source over here. Okay? And then you could say, well, there's a witch on the wall and a light source over here. So we have a long way to go in a oh, you are? Okay, sorry. Well, I'm having fun too, so, bear with me. The thing about the mimicking game is exactly what we're doing with music. Except for, instead of our instrument being our voice, our instrument is our guitar. And so music being kind of a communicative or a linguistic type of thing all of its own, I think it's better to be able to be more conversationally fluent in music than it is to just be able to say, all right, like I was saying here, in something that we would both understand, there's a witch flying on the wall and over here is a light source. And you would look back at me and go, do you have the book that tells me what you said? Because that's tabs. It doesn't tell you anything about the quality of it. It doesn't tell you about the personality, or the nuance of the person that created it. That's up to your ears to hear and try to inflect. You just get much better at conversing musically, linguistically, musically, when you're more fluent at hearing and being able to repeat what you hear from other people. So that's why I don't use tabs anymore. I haven't used tabs in more than 4 years. So, and one of the reasons why I stopped using tabs is because I was blind for a little while. 100%, completely legally blind. This eye was screwed up. I'm going to show you a picture. Yes, that's right. Unless you end the stream like now. So you're up for a good time. Yeah, I was legally blind for several weeks, and then the sight came back in this eye pretty okay. I got burned by not acid but a base. You know, it's 14 sodium hydroxide, worst possible scenario. You know, next to like blunt force trauma or a piercing injury. But yeah, it's the worst pain I've ever felt. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, even an enemy. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's just awful. So let's go to pictures, and I will bring out the pictures, and then you will see what I'm talking about. To the Kirk. I can show you cat pictures too. Guitars that I've built. But the eye in question here is this. Here? Yeah, that's the one we'll show. Are you ready? Brace yourselves. I know you get my point, but brace yourself. Here comes the eyeball. So, boom. That was me in 2020. This eye. So, yeah. Sodium hydroxide's no joke. It's like The Walking Dead, right? So, this eye was already pretty well healed by that point. This eye was not, as you can tell. And I can show lots of... You're not too dumb for theory, I guarantee it. You're smart enough for it, I guarantee. If you can argue with me about like what we've been talking about today, and keep up with Stu, because Stu's a monster in a good way. Yeah, you're okay. Even if you did decide that you didn't want to talk about it anymore, you're fine. Anyway, you're like, yeah, you know what? It's funny. I can sight read tabs. I read tabs enough to where I used to go, and I can still recommend doing this. So I would go to classic tabs. And yes, those are all pictures of my eyeball. People used to ask me, what is it like to not have real sight in this one? And this is what it's like. So literally, I would see both images at the same time. It's amazing, and be able to process them separately. But it sucks. But it was really good for my ears because I couldn't look at tabs. I could only listen. And so I had to figure out things. And my first video that I put up there was ever. God, what was that? The Thing That Should Not Be from Metallica. Figured out all by ear, and also listening to a Ben Eller video. But I couldn't see, at all. So I had to do it. I had to do it that way. I could get kind of visual reference in my right eye though, a little bit. It's fun stuff. So the tab thing though, again, there's no nuance there, and I know you get what I'm saying. And we're not really discussing that anymore. But the one thing I was going to show you is classic tabs. So one of the things that I like to do most is warm up with this, like on the weekend. This is a very good way of kind of resetting my brain and just getting me kind of ready to move my fingers around. You pick any one of these that you want. I'm partial to Bach, of course. I'm also partial to my cat Alan, who's messing with stuff down here. See if I can find something I know. But is to just sit and, you know what? We're going to look up some Dowland or some Scarlatti. Yeah, you know what? Scarlatti. They've got lots of these, right? Good stuff. And I'm really pro classical music. Like classical, Renaissance, stuff like that. And you can hear classical influences, of course, in Flames. So my suggestion would be, you play In Flames, and then play some of this. Not to see that there's some, ooh, yes, there's some, like here's a nice easy one. Allegretto moderato in D. Fine. Grab guitar, and then just kind of sight read through it, right? So, oh, am I doing that right? Sure. Here, it's a... There it is. That's it. I'm guessing. I've never heard this before. Ah, we have trickiness now. That's it, yes. If you want to... there we go. And so forth. But so you get the general idea. But it's just to sit down and you're not looking at the guitar. You're forcing your fingers to kind of move around and do things that they may or may not be used to doing. Like I've never tried to play this. I may have heard it before, but I don't know. Same with this. Yeah, it's probably thumb for electrics, or actually this way was the way it'd probably be fingered. Yeah, something like that. Probably better. So there you go. It's a nice thing. You should try that. And you don't have to do it, of course, with that kind of music. You just go nuts and grab yourself whatever you decide to find down here. Legend of Zelda. Have a good time. But stick with the easier stuff. And all I'm doing, well, for me, Scarborough Fair or whatever. But I stick with the easier stuff. This is Saturday morning for me. Oh, there's the camera. This is Saturday morning for me. Literally, the only thing I would be doing is sitting down and going like, all right, I'm going to play. What am I going to play? And if something like King Diamond doesn't come right out and say, you must play me. Hi, honey. Hi. It would be, all right, what am I going to move my fingers to as I'm watching something on YouTube? It's kind of where I stand around here. Here's an English dance, for instance. It's also a good way of practicing. Hybrid picking. But, and yes, you're going to find a lot of stuff is pretty much in D major here. But, oh, no. And, but anyway, improvisation's fun. It's good. But the point would be just to get your fingers moving and doing something that you may or may not be accustomed to yet. Mostly not. That's the point. And to do it kind of in an abstracted way where you're not really concentrating too hard on what you're doing here, but you're most likely just kind of reading through and going, all right. I'm just goofing off. But, you get the idea. It's fun. All right. Well, I'm going to split. It's probably just about my bedtime, and I still have to try this thing out. And... may I recommend goal setting? Get one of those down. Do a cover. Release it on YouTube. Send me a link. If there's a lead in that song, need any help with it? I'll do better. Promise. I'll actually get you a help video if you need it. Especially if that's something that you're interested in doing. But I'll bet you can, and I'm sure you'll do exceedingly well. You have the right attitude for it. You should totally do well. But yeah, listen hard and listen good and take care and enjoy yourself over there in Poland and play by all means. Play faster. Have a very good night. It was nice.